Hi, everyone, and thanks so much for attending today's webinar. AI is only as smart as your data, why transactional history matters more than ever, brought to you by NetSuite and our alliance partner, Myers Holum. My name's Alexi, and I'll help kick us off today. At NetSuite, I help manage marketing initiatives with our alliance partners, including Myers Holum. Before we begin, I'd like to cover a few quick items. We love receiving questions from the audience, so if you want to ask our speakers anything today, please go ahead and answer or enter your questions into the Q&A or chat feature at any time, and we'll answer as many of those as we can near the end of our webinar. If we can't get to them on time, someone from NetSuite or Myers Holum will follow up with you separately. Finally, you will receive an on-demand version of the webcast in a day or two in case you want to review anything that you do see today. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome the Myers Holum team and our speakers for today to provide an introduction and kick us off. Please welcome Stephen Wolf, Managing Partner at Myers Holum. Stephen, it's great having you here today. Thanks for joining us, and over to you to kick us off.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'll introduce myself before we start. Managing partner with Myers Holum. I've been leading our NetSuite practice here for about the last 10 years. Before that, I actually worked internally at NetSuite in their professional services. So I've got about a 14-year career here implementing NetSuite, and excited to talk about data migration today. Just want to kick off by reviewing what we're going to learn and discuss. And right now, what we're really focused on is talking about just data migration specifically as it applies to leveraging AI and all of the great AI features that NetSuite is rolling out. We believe at Myers Holum that while traditional ERP migrations historically would rely on just summary trial balance data loads, maybe open transactions, largely a limited history related to how we migrate historical detail. What now is more important than ever is that our clients are focused on migrating a much larger scope of significant detailed historical transactions as part of their NetSuite implementation. And that's important for a few reasons. One is that NetSuite uses historical data, and especially NetSuite AI really is going to rely on and relies on today a large amount of historical data to function properly. I'll talk also today about the risks of summary-only migrations and what our clients tend to lose in implementing NetSuite if they're only focused on summary-level trial balance information or limited historical data. Also excited to talk about what a modern AI-ready data migration program looks like in real life. So how we actually accomplish migrating large amounts of historical data into NetSuite. And finally, we'll talk about how we future-proof our clients' NetSuite instances for analytics, automation, intelligent decision-making, and all of the other great benefits that AI brings to the table for us. So before we start off talking about what NetSuite has in store for AI and all of the key features and data migration, kind of a preamble here I'd like to talk about is a recent report from McKinsey just this year in January of 2026, stating that only 40% of companies are reporting enterprise-level EBITDA impact from AI projects. One of the primary drivers of the reason that only 40% of companies are seeing any kind of ROI on their AI initiatives is data quality. So not necessarily any lack of availability of AI features or tools, algorithmic sophistication that our clients or companies have access to, but really data quality is the primary determinant of AI success in ERP implementation. What NetSuite gives us that's very exciting, as we all know, is one unified database for end-to-end business operations and financials. That's been the value proposition of NetSuite for over 20 years, as long as it's been around. And NetSuite gives AI what it needs to properly function. So all of our primary data, customers, vendors, items, all of our historical transactions, business events like stockouts, bill runs, business delays or confirmations, and business rules, approval limits, policies, and procedures. Within the realm of a normal NetSuite implementation, all of these data elements related to our business, these key data elements required for AI, are part of a NetSuite implementation. But what we're focused on is getting the historical, what we've done before NetSuite, into the mix so that AI really properly functions and is working the way that we need it to. NetSuite is really focused on AI, and there are tons of exciting features coming out with NetSuite Next. There are amazing tools that are available now today inside of NetSuite. But really, we think we're very aligned with NetSuite on their focus that the best AI comes from the best data. So Evan Goldberg himself, you'll see this in a lot of NetSuite's marketing content and their thought leadership around ERP. Again, that the best AI comes from the best data. And we're very much aligned with NetSuite on that vision that before we try to realize the benefit that AI can bring our organizations, our clients, and the businesses that we work with, we have to first focus on getting our data organized and bring the best data to the table in order to really realize those benefits in the future. So again, leveraging NetSuite AI features now and in the future requires significant detailed historical data. And that's what we're here to talk about today. Before we talk about how we do this, I just want to talk a little bit also about NetSuite and show what NetSuite Next will look like in the future. And what you'll see even today in NetSuite and dashboards and for the past 10, 15 years, and definitely in the future as well, is that NetSuite Analytics and AI is focused on largely comparative and trending metrics by nature. Just like business operators look at their business year over year, month over month, trending, how we're doing over time, are things moving up or down in the right direction, AI is also very focused on those same comparative and trending metrics. So some screen grabs from NetSuite Next demonstrations show that we're very focused on metrics such as product profitability comparison. I need to see an executive summary of how I'm doing in terms of my product profitability this year, last year, over the last 12 months. And a lot of the standard dashboards, portlets, functions of NetSuite, just really even before we get into any AI workflow or key features, our standard dashboards, reporting, analytics are largely always going to be based, just the way that we look at our business as an operator, on comparative and trending metrics. So commonly, as we're operating businesses, we're looking at how we're doing compared to the past. And in order for us to really answer those questions, we need that past data in detail so that we can get to the bottom of what's driving our growth, what's driving our improvement, what the risks are to our business, where we're doing well and where we're not. We need to know that in order to ultimately perform the best that we can. Specific to the AI features that are within NetSuite already today, available to us now, these features require significant amounts of historical data to function correctly. Businesses that focus on large-scale data migration projects are going to realize immediate benefit from AI, and they're going to be set up well for using and deploying that AI well into the future as well. So already available today to many of our clients, one of the most impressive features within NetSuite is financial exception management. Financial exception management is going to understand your business's historical trends, scan transactions on an hourly basis, and automatically identify exceptions where there might be issues for how we're controlling for a process, how we're accounting for a certain function, how we are journaling and controlling our transactions in our business within NetSuite. So already off the bat, what NetSuite requires for financial exception management just to work is a bare minimum of 18 months of detailed transaction history. If we go live on NetSuite for the first time with just trial balances and open transactions, we don't really start to get to use financial exception management until at least a year and a half after that initial go live. And that makes it difficult for our clients to realize the benefit of a new ERP system when such a core feature is not available without significant data migration. NetSuite Analytics Warehouse, Auto Insights, and Auto ML. These are great tools which, with the data that we provide it, can automatically identify key insights about our business, find trends that we might not have been originally looking for, surface KPIs and key findings for us really in a promptless way without us even looking in that direction first. And AutoML incorporates predictive model selection, which allows us to use machine learning in a very low-code way to build really really competitive predictive forecasts, clustering of our data together, like creating customer cohorts or creating new categories for us to look at our business in, customer churn prediction, stock out prediction. We recommend for most of these features at least 3 to 5 years of full historical detail in order to really start building there. Within the NLLM module within SuiteScript and kind of this lightweight RAG that NetSuite identifies for us as well. When we're using NetSuite's LLM capabilities within SuiteScript, part of that build is giving NetSuite the data to understand our historical transactions, to understand documents that we have related to our business. And when we have that data there, when NetSuite replies to us, when we ask it a question, or when NetSuite takes action on our behalf in an agentic way, we're now giving NetSuite the ability not only to do so with the context of our business, but also cite the data that it used to make that decision when taking action. So if we're building agents really in the right way, if we're building tools that are very specific to how our business functions, which is required, then we recommend at least, again, here, 3 to 5 years of full historical detailed transactions in order to give NLM SuiteScript and the tools that we can build there to extend NetSuite the right amount of context in order to function correctly as well. And finally, all of these great features that are coming this year within NetSuite Next, such as an AI canvas, narrative summaries, more in-depth agentic workflows, and finally, document and knowledge integration, all of these tools are going to require really full, detailed transactional history. Again, we're thinking 3 to 5 years as our recommendation in order to gain the most functionality out of these tools. So, we've talked about kind of these base features that are available today, what's coming in the future. We're all very excited about what AI is doing for our clients and our implementations for their businesses and the efficiencies that we can realize and the value that we can realize there. But ultimately, we have a gap because today, the standard for companies is to just migrate historical, summary trial balances, very summarized data migration. And so what Myers Holum has done is we've come out with our product NS90 Migrate. So NS90 Migrate is our answer to how we're going to unlock our customers' legacy data from many of their legacy systems, including ERP, point of sale, CRM, billing systems, et cetera, and bringing the full set of that data into NetSuite on time for our ability to implement ERP. So NS90 is a faster and repeatable data migration process into NetSuite. We call it NS90 because our goal is that we're able to migrate our full legacy data set on our first load within 90 days of kicking off the project. For any larger set of data that we don't bring into NetSuite, we can also preserve that historical data within NSAW. So most of our clients that are leveraging NS90, the goal is that we fully commission our legacy ERP. We do this in an automated way. So we're no longer asking our clients to manually extract data from their source systems, to cleanse or clean up data in Excel before loading to NetSuite. All of that data migration is automated through Oracle Integration Cloud. And again, we're bringing full fiscal year transactions into NetSuite, not just current open transactions and just net changes to the trial balance month over month. Finally, for any detail that we don't bring into NetSuite, let's say 5+, 7+ years back, we always maintain data lineage so we can drill down from any NetSuite financial statement into that historical transaction detail in NSAW. By definition, NS90 and the way that we migrate data is automatically and technically reconciled with our legacy data. So we know that exactly what we pulled out is always reconciled into NetSuite in the future. NS90 in this approach also provides us business continuity reporting. So just from a base standpoint, if we do need to blend data from our old ERP with our go-forward NetSuite data, it's now all in one place. So we don't lose any continuity in the types of analytical capability reporting that we have. And finally, within this entire framework, NS90 is again technically reconciled within what we call a balance and control framework. The data migration that we perform through NS90 is, again, automatically and technically validated as part of the process, meaning that we can ensure that we're fully compliant in doing so and using NetSuite as our new financial system of record. So if you've been through an ERP implementation before, it's very likely that you've done data migration in some manual way. Without NS90, this is the typical way that we used to migrate data in the past. We would maybe run some extracts from our legacy ERP, either through reporting or through some database connection, effectively manually pulling the data out of our legacy ERP. We would then delegate tasks to maybe a number of different resources to manually transform that data just really within Excel. So getting our old trial balances, our sales ledger, our AP ledger, our historical master data, our vendors, our customers, our items, manually transforming that data in Excel, and then really in a very one-by-one, step-by-step basis, loading that data into NetSuite. So the risk here of the previous approach before NS90, obviously, is that it's not a controlled process. We are asking end users to manually transform data in Excel. Typically, that work is being distributed across a number of different individuals. So there's no centralization of the work that's going in, which is very error prone. And the risk is that also this is extremely time consuming to do. So we're loading CSV files, again, one by one into NetSuite. And what that resulted in for us is really a recommendation in the past that we can only load trial balances, maybe some level of detail in open transactions, and hopefully enough relevant master data to be able to go live. The other big risk here in the legacy manual data migration approach is that all of the validation that we do is essentially also manual. So reconciliation between NetSuite and our legacy systems has to be done in a very functional way, looking at account balances, looking at totals, but we don't have a technical validation between the data that we've pulled out of our legacy system and what we've loaded into NetSuite. And again, obviously the scope of data migration here, much smaller, no closed transactions, typically just trial balances, typically focused on just maybe 1, 2, 3 years of those trial balances in full. And all of the reporting that we had in our legacy system, we really lose continuity of. We can go live with NetSuite. We can rebuild our reporting infrastructure and our analytics infrastructure in NetSuite. But if we don't have legacy data there, then we can't have any continuity of that reporting. The reporting is only as good as the day that we went live going forward. What NS90 does is it automates this entire process. So what we've done at Myers Holum is we have developed connectors to now over 30 of our most commonly seen legacy ERP systems, from QuickBooks to Dynamics to Sage to SAP. These connectors automatically extract legacy data in detail in full amounts from these legacy ERP systems. We land all of that detailed transactional data into NSAW, and we have developed essentially a large library of SQL transformations inside of NSAW, which migrate and transform our clients' legacy data into the NetSuite schema. And from there, we also automatically load that data into NetSuite. So from a practical standpoint, really what we've done here is we have developed automated integrations between NetSuite and our clients' legacy ERP systems. That is a much faster process where we can load much larger sets of historical transactional data into NetSuite in an automated way. It's much more robust in the sense that it allows us to load detailed transactional granular data into NetSuite. So we don't lose that data that we've accumulated over years and years as an organization. We also have the ability to drill down from NetSuite into the legacy data set. So we can provide technical reconciliation and technical validation of the data loads into NetSuite as well. And because we are always landing all of that legacy data into NSAW, for any detail or any years that aren't loaded into ERP, just maybe from a standpoint of practicality, we can provide BI continuity reporting and enablement there as well. So really, in simple terms, what we're giving our clients in implementation is the ability to say, I'm going to bring over all of my legacy data into NetSuite. I'm not going to lose any data that I've accumulated over the years and years that I've operated my business on my legacy ERP. And when I go live with NetSuite on day one, I can look at any sort of comparative trending reporting. I can see my business over the time span of as long as the data that I've loaded into NetSuite. And now, because NetSuite has the context of all of my legacy data, those AI features will work in a very performant way. I have those AI features available to me now, day one of my go live. And even in scenarios where we don't bring in the full legacy detail into NetSuite, let's say for 7 years and prior, but we still want to represent trial balances. Again, what we do is bring over all that detailed data set into NSAW, and we're able to provide a drill down from even our trial balance in NetSuite to the source data. So what we're looking at here is basically a proving of the reconciliation between a summary trial balance in NetSuite and the historical detail that I have represented for my legacy instance. We can see also historical data views within NSAW, within OAC, and this represents our technical validation. So from an audit standpoint or a compliance standpoint, if I need to see a log of the jobs that I've run, the data that I've loaded, exactly how it was transformed, exactly how it was loaded into NetSuite, when we perform data migration in this way, we have also the technical reconciliation and the reporting necessary to be able to provide the level of compliance needed when migrating large data sets in this regard. So finally, why is NS90 so important? What do we really do here? In terms of savings, for companies that are migrating multiple legacy ERP systems or have many acquisitions, NS90 is a reusable architecture that they can use over and over again to continue to migrate historical data from all of their legacy systems, maybe future acquisitions, into NetSuite in an iterative and a reusable way. We are one vendor that's supporting this. So NS90 works entirely with NetSuite tools. There's no third-party software, no outside technical requirements that are needed here. Just with what's available to you as a NetSuite customer, we are able to accomplish this full end-to-end data migration. BI continuity is a really important aspect of NS90 as well, meaning, again, when we are migrating legacy detailed transactions, that unlocks and enables for us to continue to run our BI reporting, our analytical infrastructure across the years that we have going forward from our go live in NetSuite and all of those prior years operationalizing on our legacy ERP. We support all of our clients' business critical systems for NS90. So NS90 is not just focused only on the legacy ERP, but on many of the commonly used ancillary applications as well: Shopify, Salesforce, Concur, Amazon QuickBooks, etc. Any application that our clients are using, we're using NS90 to migrate data from. Efficiency, how fast we can do this, also a very important aspect of NS90. A lot of clients, a lot of individuals involved in ERP implementations see data migration as a very long, drawn-out, onerous process. And again, that's likely why the behavior in the past with clients has largely been not to try to migrate legacy detailed historical transactions. But with NS90, our goal for our clients is to migrate full historical data sets, again, within 90 days of kicking off the project. And most importantly, all data is important. The best AI comes from the best data. And we do not want our clients to have to separate from their legacy data when implementing ERP. This legacy data is what's going to drive your adoption of AI and make AI performant for you in the future. And our motto with NS90 is to keep all of your legacy data going forward. That for us is what's most important to be able to realize the benefits of what NetSuite is offering for AI now and many years into the future as well. So thanks so much for joining today. I'm going to pass it back over and open up the floor for some Q&A.
Yeah, thanks so much, Stephen. Really appreciate you walking us through that. That was great. And now, audience, we will be taking Q&A, so please feel free to enter any questions you may have into the chat feature, and we will slowly start taking them.